Hello friends, it's Narika here, and today I'm going to show you how I made this raincoat from my last Living the Jones episode, The Water Cycle. So I used this book, Sewing Clothes for Barbie, that I got at, I believe it was Joann's Fabrics, and I really like it because it gives you templates to make the doll clothes, and they had a template for this raincoat that you see here, and I used that template to make this raincoat. But then I modified that pattern because I didn't love how that raincoat turned out. And that's what I like about these templates, is that you can use the template and then make some changes to make it your own. So this is what I did with this raincoat, the pink raincoat in the episode. The material that I ended up using for the raincoat is actually just a pool floaty. I got this at Five Below. It was $3. And it's that plastic material that most raincoats are made out of. It works perfect. It's kind of translucent. I thought it'd be great, and it was only $3. So the original hood that was in the book, I felt like it was a little bit too big for the doll's head. So hood that I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter, though, and not as tall and not as long, coming over the face. So here I'm just sketching out the length that I think would be better for the dolls. Here you see the difference between the original hood and the adjustments that I made for this new raincoat. Now it's time to get to the body of the raincoat. The original pattern had the arms and the body of the coat as one piece. I didn't really love this because it kind of bunched up under the armpit of the doll, and I didn't really like that, so I decided that I would go with a raglan style arm, and here just sketching out the raglan cut. And I also thought that the arms were a little long and wide, so I'm just going to narrow the width of the sleeve and shorten the length of the sleeve as well. The body of the coat was a little too wide as well, so I narrowed the body of the coat as well to fit on the doll a little bit better. This is what the new pattern looks like compared to the original pattern. And now I just cut out that new pattern that I made. We are now onto the back piece, where I make similar adjustments as I did the front piece, making that raglan sleeve, and once again slimming down the length of the sleeve and the width of the sleeve. Once again, I'm also narrowing the width of the body of the coat as I did with the front. I'm just cutting out the back now. All my pieces are now cut, and now it's time to move on to the next step. I'm just removing the floaty from its wrappings. The floaty itself has 2 layers of plastic, so what I decided to do is I'm going to cut the back piece on the fold of the floaty. I try to find the straightest possible edge of the floaty. This is it here. It's not really straight, but it will work. And I'm just going to use my pencil to outline the pattern. And I use a pencil because I could just erase the markings afterwards. A marker or anything else will stain the plastic, and I don't want that. Now I just cut out that pattern, leaving a seam allowance. So The floaty being double lined is perfect because I need 2 pieces of the front piece of the raincoat. So I just lay that on top, I trace out the pattern, and when I cut it out, there'll be 2 pieces of the front. I don't have to worry about a wrong side or a right side because it's plastic. It's just one side on both sides. So I'll have the left hand side of the coat and the right hand side of the coat once I'm finished cutting. Now I just continue to trace out the rest of the pattern, and I use the double lined floaty to my advantage. Since every piece in this pattern I do need 2 of, so I just trace it out on top of the double line floaty and cut out as needed, and make sure I'm cutting a seam allowance for each piece. All the pieces are cut, and now it's time to begin sewing. Now I'm just sewing the hood together along the top seam and just taking my time to go around the curve. I'm not the best sewer ever, but I do try my best. The way I view sewing is it's a puzzle that we have to put together, and that's how I approach it. I'm just sewing on the sleeve to the back side of the coat, and I make sure to do this for both sides. I also sewed on the sleeves to the front off camera. Make sure that you're placing the plastic good side to good side. That way your seam lays the way in which you want it to. See there? That's what I'm talking about. It's time to sew the pockets, and I do this off camera, but what I do is I fold down the edges of the pocket. I don't show it on camera, but I clip off the edges and I just sew it all the way around. Here are the finished pockets. They came out a lot better than I thought they would. Next step, sewing the pockets onto the front of the raincoat. I mark where I want the pocket to lay on the front of the raincoat, and since the plastic is transparent, it was very easy for me to then place the marking on the other side. That way it is even. So I'm just sewing the pocket on 3 sides of the pocket, making sure that the top is open. That way our doll hands can fit into the pocket. See here? Looks good to me. I'm sewing together the back and the front at the top of the sleeve, and I'm making sure good side to good side are facing each other. I do the other side as well, and now the front pieces and the back pieces are connected together on the coat. Now it's time to attach the hood to the rest of the coat. This step was a little difficult to show, but what I did is I sewed the base of the hood along the collar of the coat, good side to good side. This is what it looks like once I'm all done sewing it together. Now I have to hem the front of the coat around the hood and down the other side of the coat. This is what it looks like when it's all hemmed up. At this point, I hem the sleeves. Once I hem both sleeves, I then close the side seams of the coat. Once that's done, it's time to hem the bottom of the coat, and I just do one straight hem along the bottom of the coat, trim off the excess, and I'm done. I really enjoyed making these raincoats. I hope you enjoyed watching me make these raincoats. Please watch my Living the Jones Life episode, The Water Cycle, where you can see these raincoats in action. Hopefully you'll join me for the next craft that I make. And please just like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye and blessings.